Welcome to the Gifts Differing podcast, folks. I'm host Albion, and today we have an incredibly fascinating episode. I'm sitting here with the great Elias, and for the first time on this podcast, I'm also joined by a self-proclaimed deist, Elisia, someone who loves diving into the deepest corners of philosophy. This is going to be a truly captivating episode. So, Elias, first off, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well, Albion. It's not often that I find myself in a conversation about the mysteries of the universe quite like this.
Let's dive into something that's kind of controversial for some people, your views on God and religion. So, I've heard you talk about how you don't believe in a personal God, the one that you know answers prayers and gets involved in people's lives. What's your take on all of that?
Well, Albion, I've always maintained that I do not believe in a personal God, a being who interferes in human affairs or answers individual prayers. The idea of such a God seems, to me, naive. You see, I've always been drawn more to the idea that there is something greater, something behind the vast complexity and order of the universe itself.
So, you're saying it's not like the God that people pray to, but more like the laws of nature, the stuff that governs everything, right?
Exactly. I subscribe more to the notion of Spinoza's God, the God of reason and the laws that structure the cosmos. For me, God is the order, the harmony within the universe. When I look at the universe, the intricate laws that govern it, the precision and beauty, there's a sense of awe, of reverence for something greater. That's where I find my spirituality, in the cosmic order itself. It's not a personal deity, but an overarching intelligence in the universe's design.
That's fascinating. So you're not into the whole prayer, intervention, miracles thing, but you still see something divine in the natural world. You talk about this cosmic religious feeling. Can you expand on that?
Yes, Albion. My cosmic religious feeling isn't based on any doctrinal belief. It's an appreciation for the order and rationality of the universe. It's a deep sense of wonder, knowing that the universe works in such a precise, beautiful way. I don't think you need a personal God to experience that feeling. In fact, it's precisely this view that allows me to stand in awe of the natural world without feeling bound to any traditional religious framework.
That makes a lot of sense, Elias, and that kind of connects with something you mentioned about deism. It's this idea that the universe was created by some kind of rational force, but doesn't get involved, right? Is that kind of where you land?
Yes, there are similarities. Deism suggests a rational creator who set the universe in motion, then stepped back. In my view, the creator is not a person who intervenes in our daily lives, but a principle, the laws of nature. These laws are universal, objective and impersonal. It's not about a deity looking down and guiding us. It's about recognizing that the cosmic functions according to principles that are far beyond our understanding, but still deeply knowable through reason.
You know, Elias, I feel like we're on the same page here. I've always had this strong inclination to look at the universe from a rational standpoint. I'm not religious in the traditional sense either, but I do feel this sense of reverence for the order we see around us. I'm a deist as well. There's something profoundly intelligent about the way everything works, but I don't believe in a God who interferes. It's more about appreciating the design, the framework, the laws that make everything tick.
Oh, that's cool. So you're basically on the same wavelength as Elias here, huh? Not quite into the supernatural stuff, but more into the structure of the universe itself.
Exactly. I think what's powerful about this view is that it allows for a sense of purpose without needing some higher power to intervene. It's not about divine commandments or miracles, but rather recognizing the inherent intelligence in the structure of nature itself. It makes me feel connected to something larger than myself, even if it's not a personal relationship with God.
That's precisely the point. The universe, with all its precision and grandeur, offers a sense of meaning. It's not dependent on human intervention. It's humbling and awe-inspiring to consider that we're part of a larger cosmic order, even if we can never fully comprehend it.
That's deep. So, let me ask you both, do you think this kind of spirituality, this reverence for the laws of nature, can replace traditional religion for people? Or do you think there's always going to be a tension between the two?
I think it could replace traditional religion for a lot of people, but it requires a shift in perspective. Traditional religions often offer comfort through a personal God, but the idea of a rational, impersonal universe also offers comfort. It's just a different kind of comfort. You might not have a God you can pray to for help, but you can still find peace in knowing that the universe is orderly, and you're a part of that order.
I agree. The shift is challenging, but it's one that may be necessary for a more mature understanding of our place in the cosmos. We're not helpless before a capricious deity. Rather, we are participants in an intelligently designed system, a part of a cosmic web that extends far beyond human comprehension. This, to me, is both humbling and liberating.
Yeah, I think that's something a lot of people would find freeing. Not necessarily having to follow rigid doctrines, but just connecting with the natural world on a deeper level. It's like a way to tap into something universal.
Precisely. And that sense of connection, that deep respect for the mysteries of the universe, I believe, is what can lead to a more profound sense of meaning than any traditional religious practice could provide.
So, I've been thinking about something you said earlier, Elias, this whole idea of the universe being this intricate, beautiful system. You stated you don't need a personal God to feel like there's meaning in life. I guess the idea of cosmic order is enough for you, right?
Yes, exactly. I've always felt that by observing nature, by uncovering its laws, we are tapping into something profound. It's not about explaining the mysteries of existence with one grand answer, but about appreciating the complexity and interconnectedness. The universe, in all its awe-inspiring wonder, offers something far greater than any man-made system of belief. It's an ongoing revelation that we're a part of.
You know, that's something I've really resonated with too. There's this idea in my mind where the universe itself is a kind of spiritual experience, but it's rooted in reality. The more we uncover, the more we realize we don't know. It's like the mystery deepens the more we understand. And I find that paradoxically comforting. Like, knowing there's always more to explore keeps us humble and curious. There's no final answer, but that's okay.
Yeah, I like that. It's almost like the search for meaning is the meaning. The journey, not the destination. We're constantly evolving in our understanding of the universe, and that's kind of its own form of spirituality, right? You're always learning, always growing.
Yes, and there's a deep satisfaction in the pursuit itself. I've always found that science, in its truest form, is not about finality, it's about asking better questions. There is no single answer to the mystery of existence. Instead, there are layers, deeper and deeper. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. The more you learn, the more questions arise. And that is the beauty of it. There is a cosmic dance between knowing and unknowing.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It reminds me of something I've always thought, about the beauty in the uncertainty. A lot of people find uncertainty unsettling, but I've come to embrace it. The fact that we don't have all the answers is actually what makes existence so meaningful. It's the very unknowability of it all that invites us to look deeper, to explore.
Right, and that's where, I think, the difference between someone who looks at the world through a religious lens and someone who looks at it scientifically is. A lot of religious people see the mysteries of the universe as things to be revealed by a higher power, while people like us, well, people who aren't religious in the traditional sense, look at it like, hey, the mystery is the point. Let's uncover it together. And maybe that's where the true spiritual experience happens.
You've captured that very well. For me, the spiritual experience does not come from belief in supernatural events or a deity's intervention, but from the deep appreciation of the natural world and its complexities. The more you study, the more you realize how much remains unknown. And in that very unknown is a space for wonder, for awe, for respect. That's where spirituality emerges, not in the dogma or rituals of religion, but in the very exploration of reality itself.
And it's humbling, isn't it? The more you learn, the more you realize how small and insignificant we are, but also how connected we are to the whole. Like, we are a part of this cosmic web, this intricate system. Every tiny piece has its place. That's the beauty. We are both insignificant and profoundly meaningful at the same time.
Yeah, there's a paradox there. You're small in the grand scheme of things, but you're also a piece of this massive, ever-unfolding mystery. Like, we have this ability to contemplate the universe, to try to understand it, even though we're just a speck in the vastness of time and space.
Exactly. It's the awareness of our smallness that opens the door to true reverence. When we realize how insignificant we are in the grand scheme of things, it can lead to a feeling of humility, but also a sense of belonging. We are not isolated beings. We are part of something greater, something much more profound. And that, to me, is the real connection to something divine. A divine that is the very fabric of the universe itself.
You know, I've often wondered why people cling to the idea of a personal God when there's so much beauty in the idea of the universe as it is. I mean, I understand the need for comfort. There's a lot of fear about the unknown, but the more I look into things, the more I feel like we have enough to marvel at right here. The complexity, the interconnectedness. I think once you let go of that need for a personal deity, you can truly appreciate the mystery of it all without needing someone to explain it for you.
Yeah, it's like letting go of the crutch. When you're no longer trying to fit the universe into a neat little box that makes sense for your comfort, you're free to just be in awe of it. And I get that. A lot of people want that certainty. It's human nature, but there's something beautiful in being okay with uncertainty. There's so much freedom in accepting that we'll never know everything, and that's actually the point.
Yes, the search for certainty is a human instinct. But in truth, it is the mystery that drives us forward, that keeps us searching. It's not the answers that are important. It's the questions that propel us toward deeper understanding. The desire to know, to understand, to uncover the unknown. That is the essence of human curiosity. And in that pursuit, we find our true connection to the cosmos.
Right, and I think that's where real spirituality can thrive. Not in trying to have all the answers, but in being willing to live with the mystery and keep exploring. There's a certain peace that comes with realizing you might never find all the answers, but that doesn't mean you should stop looking.
I feel like what you guys are saying is that the act of seeking is what actually gives life meaning. Not having all the answers, but constantly pushing forward, asking the big questions, embracing the mystery. That's where true spiritual fulfillment comes from. Would you say that's right?
Absolutely, Albion. It's the pursuit, the exploration, that defines the human spirit. We may never understand the full scope of the universe, but in our search for understanding, we reveal a deeper truth about ourselves and our place in the cosmos.
Yeah, and even when we don't have all the answers, there's a beauty in the process itself. The very fact that we are capable of wondering, of contemplating, is a gift. The search for meaning is the meaning itself.
Damn, that's deep. I feel like I could sit here and talk about this forever. It's crazy, the way you guys have put it. Understanding the universe is not about wrapping it up in a nice little package, but about living in the mystery. That's the real spiritual experience. Thanks for this conversation. This is some next-level stuff.
It was a pleasure, Albion. I'm glad to have shared in this reflection.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks for having us on.
All right, folks. You heard it here. The search for meaning doesn't stop with a definitive answer. It's about asking the big questions, diving into the mystery, and finding purpose in the process. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and embrace the unknown. We'll catch you next time.